Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Bottom of the Bill. We got our boy Joe Marcinek on here today.
Hey, Joe.
What's up?
Thanks for being here, bro. I know you got a
Thanks
busy
for
ass
having
schedule,
me.
so thanks for fitting this whole thing in. Before we get started, cheers, the obligatory cheers. I always forget. So.
What are you drinking, Joe?
I got some green tea.
Green tea. That's got caffeine. What are you drinking, tough guy?
Just a little hair of the dog. It's been a long weekend.
No caffeine.
I'm just drinking vinegar,
caffeine.
straight up. Just hot
vinegar.
hot vinegar. Yeah.
Good way to clean you out.
Yeah. I'm getting it out.
That's good. Just vinegar.
Heads up, I have coronavirus.
Okay.
Where's your mask?
Huh?
Mask up, bro.
There you go.
I ate it.
You gotta stay away from this guy.
We were talking about that earlier. About I don't know who you ran into. Somebody tell you, why aren't you wearing a mask or anything like that? And the best comeback to that, if you're wearing a mask and some conservative person is like, you don't have to wear that mask anymore. Just tell them that you have coronavirus, and that's why you're wearing a mask, and see what their reaction is. Their head will explode.
Yeah.
That's my idea.
All right, so before we get started with everything, just want to plug our sponsors real quick. Thanks to Spliff's Gastropub downtown, Wicked Barley Brewing Company over in Mandarin, Brews in Riverside, Harleston Scotch, Scotch company based out of here in Florida, and they're phenomenal. Sidecar over in San Marco, and Captain Jack's Smokehouse over in Fernandina Beach. Thanks to all those guys, and please support all them, especially right now with everything going on. Everyone needs your support.
Sure.
I think we got you another sponsor last night, right?
I think Blue Jay might be hopping on board.
That's
with
why
that.
he's wearing the shirt.
That's why I wear the shirt.
Blue Jay sponsor us? We had Kara on here
Yeah.
She was telling me.
months ago.
Yeah, she was like one of the first guests.
Do you know
Yeah.
what today is, right? It's
What?
our 25th episode.
It's our 25th episode.
It's kind of important.
Oh shit.
I was born on the 25th.
That's
25th of what?
March.
Oh no shit.
full circle.
Oh
See?
man. It's,
Planned it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real serendipitous.
Yeah, serendipity. What's that mean?
Yeah. I don't really know. It just sounds good.
It sounded like a $10 word that you don't know how to use.
Yeah, I got a lot of those, bud.
$10
A lot of those.
Keeps them in his back pocket.
Yeah.
So, and then also I want to just mention the email, the bottom of the bill at gmail.com. If you have any suggestions, unpopular opinions, any guests or questions about anything that you want to know about. And then we have a couple shows to plug. We have Side Hustles at Monster Mash on the 31st of October.
Oh, yeah,
And
Joe's going to be there too.
Yeah.
Which day are you playing?
I play on Thursday night.
I hate you. I'm not going to make it. That sucks. Are you serious? Ah, okay.
I'm going to try and get
Well,
there Thursday.
yeah, I wanna
and
see
hang out.
Thursday.
It'll be fun.
Damn.
And then we're playing dinner and a show at 1904 on the 21st. And then we'll be in the studio next week recording, so we got nothing until...
How's that work with the dinner and a show? Do they tell you what the course is going to be beforehand?
I think you get a menu from Spliffs, and then you can kind of pick, because Spliffs and 1904 are the same business.
Right.
So you get a menu from them, and then you get to order the food, and you just sit at a table and watch the show, basically.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a specific menu item for that show.
I don't think so. I was told that was the dynamic. I don't know if
We can
that's
have a
actually what
side
it is,
hustle
though.
special.
Oh, I'll reach out to Jason about it and see if we can work something out.
Side
That's
hustle special is just a ham and cheese sandwich.
good. Ham and cheese sandwich.
Is it warm, though, or cold?
The cold.
Cold, yeah.
Can't even warm it up.
No, you can get the hell out of here if you ask for a tomato. No mayonnaise.
Yeah, no mayonnaise
We'll give
for
you
sure.
a pack of mustard. That's $25 extra.
Jesus Christ.
But the mustard's warm.
Yeah, the mustard's warm. Nice. Yeah. All right.
Joe, you got any shows you want to plug?
Monster Mash, it's going to be a pretty big one. I'm doing Cervantes in Denver with the Sweet Lilies on the 30th, so it's the day after Monster Mash. So I know everyone listening to this is going to want to do Monster Mash on a Thursday night and then fly to Denver
Yeah, of course.
the next day
Yeah.
to do that show.
And then
Holy
fly
shit.
back,
And-
see
yeah,
us
and then-
Saturday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That sounds affordable. That sounds
So,
good.
yeah, just a normal day in the life of a pandemic musician.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Most
think-
of us are still out of work, bud.
Yeah. And then on
Hey,
top of it,
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Super honored.
definitely no traveling thing. That's like we're playing shows, but they're all local.
Yeah.
You're far from home, aren't
Mine
you?
are loco.
Yeah,
Yeah, loco.
local.
Dude.
you're Did you come in? I know that you just got done playing like 3 shows in Orlando, right?
At the New Standard.
At the New Standard.
Have you guys played there yet?
No,
Not yet.
I really want to go
to.
though.
We got to make this happen.
I would
For
love
sure.
to play.
We're calling you out now, Nate. You're getting us in there.
I like to play that, but before that, was that your first tour?
Yeah, so we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Blue Jay last night.
And that's been all you've been doing?
No, I've got out a few times. I came down in June and did, I think, 3 nights at the Standard, and then I was back in August for the Jerry Garcia celebration.
Where was that at?
At the New Standard.
New Standard. Okay, cool.
So-
That's like your spot now.
But all of it's been in Florida, though, right?
Yeah, I've played back home, and so I live in Northwest Indiana, so I've done some like little restaurant
But just local
gigs
stuff.
around there. And
But it's like Disney World down here. It's open.
Yeah, it's just
So you
open.
can
Mickey
come.
Mouse is hanging out.
Yeah. But I was just wondering if like you were, because that's what your normal deal is going around the whole country all the time like that.
Yeah,
but like you're
normally-
saying. So Denver's opening up for one night for you.
It's just all kind of how everything works out. So I've got some friends who are bringing me out for a little private party on Halloween.
There you go. All right.
And so I was talking with the Sweet Lilies, and they're like, hey, we're looking to do the show. You want to be a special guest? So it kind of just worked out good that I was there at the right time.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, I think Florida is like the haven for musicians right now.
It's about to be.
Yeah.
Because, when it gets cold everywhere else.
Hey, we'll take them all. I'm down for that.
Big old Super Jam. Wait, on, was it Saturday, Brock Butler from P Groove came and sat in with us. And I just found out he was living in Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce, yeah, he's down there now. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
So, it was like, hey, come on out, jam.
That's amazing. Have you seen? I don't know where it was, but the Perpetual Groove had like some video thing where it was like they have like projector screen in a 360 circle, right?
Oh, wow.
And then they're just playing in a room, almost like you would like practice with your band, and then they have Zoom calls where like the faces of the fans are watching you.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this is the Matrix,
Yeah.
like for sure. Where your fans were literally there, and you could like look up and you
Like
could
the
see
NBA
them.
where
yeah,
they're in the
yeah.
back.
It's almost like the NBA, but it was like a full circle.
Bro, we were talking about that in the podcast with Ben.
What
Like
do you
as
mean?
soon as this thing happened. We were
Oh,
talking
like
about
like
that.
somebody needs to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
or
they
somebody
did.
was gonna start doing it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I know. It's wild.
And it looked better than any sort of stream show because it's like they were also like showing the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The missing element. I thought it'd be cool. They have the like 3D projection mapping.
Yeah.
If you could integrate that into these live streams.
Oh, you mean and then we
So
would
like
be able-
3D animation overlaying the band. So you're watching a band play, but then you also get the visuals from a show.
Oh.
So
That'd be sweet.
get to work, Anton.
Yeah, I'm
I
working
still,
on it,
I
bro.
still, don't,
Yeah.
I still don't understand your vision. Sorry, I'm trying to, but yeah, but I don't know where that was. If that was in Florida, but I didn't know that.
Oh, I
P-Groove-
think Brock was saying they did a stream. Was it in Atlanta, maybe?
that would
So that
probably
might
make
be what
sense.
you were talking about.
I'll show it to you later, but it was just like, holy shit, yeah, I want to do this for sure.
Yeah.
But
You got to find new creative ways to get the music out.
I'm
That's
saying,
for
man,
sure.
Yeah. So Joe, where are you from originally? Are you
So I was born in Illinois, but grew up in Northwest Indiana in a town called Crown Point, and so that's where I'm still at now.
okay? You're still there?
I've had it. I've had to take claims in Crown Point, Indiana.
Oh yeah.
I know where that is.
Nice.
It's just right up by 65.
What's your background coming up playing music and stuff?
So I just like lucked into it by accident, honestly. No musicians in my family. And growing up, my buddy Jeff Cunningham always played acoustic guitar. So I remember it was October 1st, 2000. He sold me the first guitar I bought for $100.
Wow.
And so it's just like an easy reminder to always look back of like, okay, it's been 20 years now.
Yeah.
So, just like hearing him play like, Sublime and songs on the radio and stuff, it was like, yeah, that'd be sweet. I want to do that. So got into the classic rock stuff, and then I went to music school at Indiana State and studied theory and harmony and stuff, and that's when it just really took off with jazz and classical music and just like fully opened up the floodgates. So now the background's a little bit of everything, honestly.
Yeah. Would you say you came from like more of the jazz aspect of it or the classical aspect?
I mean, more just like blues and classic rock was the foundation. And then definitely got really into jazz in college. And then when you graduate, you're like, oh, I want to play jazz, and then there's nowhere to play jazz in the real world.
Oh, just to perform, you mean?
and try to get paid. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
for
then
sure.
my whole kind of goal with the Joe Marcinek Band was putting like sophisticated harmony over groove stuff. So like, you know, if an audience can still dance and have a good time, but it's not just simple songs, you know, it's got a little more on to chew on. So that's kind of like the original sound, and it's grown since then to incorporate more stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a big jazz influence, but trying to figure out how you could play it and not completely lose an audience is like walking the tightrope.
Totally, man. Because if you get too far out there, even if it's groovy, sometimes if you get too far out there, you kind of lose. Like Schofield had that like great concept like throughout the 90s with the A-Go-Go record and all that stuff when it was like kind of groove based but a lot of jazz harmony. And then even I would listen to that while I was first getting started and just kind of get like, okay, this is a little bit much, and I really love it now, but just it's easy to lose people when you get a little too far into jazz stuff, you know.
Well, and I think you can do like a nice wave where you like you go out a little bit and then you bring it back and maybe play something a little more simple.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, come with me for a little bit. Let's go on this journey. Okay, we went too far. Let's come back.
Yeah.
Give you something sweet now.
Yeah. You guys do a great job of like adding a lot of like the dance element into like last night at Blue Jay. You guys went into some straight like Jamtronic shit. It's badass.
Kara had to be cringing so bad.
No, man. She was like back then. She was like, "How do I tell people to not dance right now? What the fuck?"
It was like full on Jamtronic.
Yeah.
That's got to come a lot from what's the drummer's name that you were with last night? I forgot.
Jason.
Jason, yeah, because Iota, right?
Yep.
And then Steve Moles from Particle.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You put those two people
And
together.
Matt Lapham. Like,
Yeah, and then
geez.
Matt Lapham, his like favorite all time is Aphex Twin. So it's just like, that I could see. I was like, really? Is it gonna be like a dance party at this show?
Yeah.
I really wish I could have made it. I was hoping to like get like a +1 and sneak in, but I was like, that's gonna take money
Oh
away.
man, we would have got you in there.
Yeah, but it's just like that's not fair because it only got so much capacity, and then it's like $50. I'm like, I wished them like I'm like break a leg, but you know.
Yeah, next time.
Couldn't make it. I really wanted to go though. I watched a couple of the little live streams that you played. It was pretty dope.
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, I know how to play that song.
Yeah.
I was calling him out last night because he didn't remember all the melodies he learned a year ago.
Yeah. I'm like, he's like, come on, bro, you got it right. And I was like, fuck, man. He's like, come on, Anton, come on. Oh, god damn.
I was gonna will him to play the melodies.
I actually did in hyperbole on the last
you
time
got
around.
it.
I grabbed it. I was like, fuck yeah, all right, I got it.
Yeah, there's two songs that I still remember playing of yours. It's I don't remember the names of them because they're instrumental, but the one that's the I can't even remember it. The Funnily.
Yeah, we played that one last night.
That's what you're
too.
saying that you guys had played that.
Yeah.
really
We do homage, like we always mention your name and everything. And then the other one that I just played for fun on my time is the
hyperbole. That was the
Yeah,
other
that's
one
one
we
we played
did.
last night.
So
Yeah.
and I'll just play that on the Nord like electro Rhodes sound, and I just like the way that it sounds.
Nice.
I'll just do it for fun.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, there's a great riff.
That's the goal, is to have some fun with it.
It's a good song if like a year later you're just like I still know how to play this. And,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
still remember the melody and everything.
So congrats, I
It's
guess.
stuck in your head.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just fun. Like it's physically fun to play on piano. It's just like just
The
fast.
way the runs.
And then it's like in B flat, so it's just like or B flat minor or whatever. So it's just really easy to play. I think it's in B flat minor. I'm probably
It's
wrong.
like a
B
dominant
flat.
thing.
Yeah, okay, I got it right.
Oh yeah. Still got it. Year later.
Yeah.
It's not like the horn players when you're a guitar player and you write some song in A or E and then they have to go like in some crazy key and you're
Yeah.
like, how am I supposed to play this?
Yeah,
Like, it's easy on guitar. You just move up a half step.
Right.
I know.
That's what he tells you all the time. It's like, all you have to do is play the same fucking shape, just move it up. It's like, yeah, I guess.
Doesn't work the same on piano.
No, it does not. Yeah, usually it's singers that are like, yeah, we should go. I could sing it lower. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Hit
I'll
the
just-
transpose button.
Yeah.
I know tons of keyboard players that do that.
Well, yeah, I think
Everything's in C then.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of keyboards, you play keys as well.
Yeah, I dabble.
So is that
Do a little dibble dabble.
a little dibble dabbling? Was that your first instrument, or
No,
or guitar
no,
was your
it's
first
guitar.
instrument?
And then I went to, trying to think, I think I went to Best Buy, like the day after Christmas or something, because I had gotten some money and, you know, bought like the basic beginner keyboard Yamaha $80 one.
nice.
It was like, oh, that's how you make a C chord, C, E, G. And
Yep.
then it was like, oh, you can play keys, you can join a band. So like I was playing in a band after like having bought a keyboard and practiced for maybe a month.
No shit.
Because no one knows keyboards, so if you can like semi play one correct chord, you're already better than.
Have you ever seen the movie Frank?
No.
Okay, it's a movie with like Michael Fassbender, but it's literally about like a band and like recording an album, and they're like a super like experimental band that takes like a year and a half living in a cabin in the middle of Scotland. But what's so funny about it is the guy gets his opportunity to play keys because the keyboardist tries to drown himself in the ocean because he's going crazy because being in the band sucks.
Took
bad.
a dark
You gotta watch
twist.
this movie. But the reason how he gets hired is like, can you play C, F, and G? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, you're hired.
Yep. It's like bass players and keyboardists. Like if you could play either instrument, you're gonna get 100 gigs.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
Billy thinks that bass is the easiest instrument in the planet to play.
Yeah, one note at a time.
Yeah, what
Can be.
it can be for sure. Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But if you play bass in a contemporary Christian music service, yeah, that's you could do that like on
Or
two bars of
country
Xanax
band.
and nail it.
1, 5, 1.
Yeah,
that's a
1-5.
little tricky, Joe.
Yeah, right. Country's probably the easiest thing. Until you start to get like really fast, like shit, then it's a little bit more.
Yeah, but just 1-5 the whole time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So did you get started playing in Crown Point? You play a lot in Chicago too, right?
Yeah.
So where would you say like the scene that you kind of got brought up
in Northwest Indiana.
Okay.
My buddy who passed away last year, Scott Larson, used to run an open mic at like the local watering hole called Finnegan's, and so we'd go up there every week and bug him, hey man, let me play, and he was like the coolest guy. He's always invited us up to play.
Nice.
Some, my friends growing up, and then I had a band in high school. Then when I went to school and played down there, graduated and did a short internship in Montgomery, Alabama. So then when I moved back home from that's when I really started gigging out.
Okay.
So yeah, in the beginning it was all just like local Northwest Indiana bars, and then slowly started to spread out in Chicago, Indianapolis, and it's cool where I'm at. You can draw a big 3 to 5 hour circle, and there's hundreds of different places to play. You go up to Wisconsin, Michigan. It's kind of like the state of Florida is like 18 different markets.
Yeah,
that's true.
totally.
So, we have that in the Midwest. And, with my band doing the different members, it just made it so easy to travel because I could just go and then team up, like with you guys or whoever the band was. And so it really made it easy for me to network with all these different players all over the country.
Yeah. Now, have you ever played the Slippery Noodle in Indiana?
No,
or
no,
Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Places. Every time I hear about people playing in Indy, I'm just like, I played at that place one time a long time ago, and it was just a very cool little spot. Have you been there before though?
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's a lot of good acts that go through that place for being like a smaller kind of club.
Yeah, Indy's got a real big jazz history. J.J. Johnson was there, Freddie Hubbard, Wes Montgomery, all came from Indianapolis. So there's a really strong jazz scene. Jazz Kitchen's another venue that they bring. Or prior to the pandemic, the olden days, a lot of touring groups would come through there quite often.
Right. Yeah, I've never really hung out in Indy too much. Just played that one club, but it seems it's got a pretty solid scene. I mean, all those Midwest cities, like Chicago's got a pretty booming scene I hear as well.
Yeah. Excellent.
Have you spent a lot of time playing around there?
In the city?
Yeah.
Not like it's different when you live there. Then you're really immersed and you go out every night. So, at the most, I was probably playing once a week. Funny enough, when you ask about keyboards, I joined this Grateful Dead cover band called Terrapin Flyer, and they did every Wednesdays at the Abbey Pub. So that's where I really got to cut my chops learning the Dead stuff. But I was learning on piano, so it was always funny. It was like, I know almost every Dead song on piano, but on guitar, which is my main instrument, I'm like, don't know the song.
That's wild.
So, and so doing that was every Wednesday. So then if I had a gig on a Saturday or something in the city, that was, I don't know, probably around 7 years ago. So at that time I was playing downtown a lot more. Lately I had been on the road a lot, so you're not really in any city. It's just here for a night and then we're on to the next.
Right. Yeah. You're not really a local musician anymore. Now you're just a
gypsy.
Yeah, gypsy. Basically.
I was gonna call you a satellite musician.
Satellite
musician.
All right.
That's
I like it.
I just see before all the Corona stuff. I saw you just every single city in the country, and then I was just like, just different. You just hire a band. It's the most incredible thing. I've never seen another musician do that. Is there a name for it? Where you just hire a band and then be like, I'm gonna hire you guys.
Well, there's different traditions. Like the old Chuck Berry method was he never had a band. He would roll in the town, and the local union or whatever would arrange a band for him.
Interesting.
You know, so that is similar to that concept, but I took it more into like the Super Jam concept. Which, do you guys know Matt Butler and Everyone Orchestra?
I know everyone orchestra, yeah.
So that's kind of, I modeled it more after that, but where they're completely freeform. They don't do any songs. Yeah. Where I'll play some of my songs and cover songs and stuff like that. So there was different pools of people I took to model that concept.
It's gotta just be so nerve-wracking though, like being like, okay,
it is and it isn't.
Well, like I can't imagine me like reaching, because you reach out way early in advance, and it's like, hey, it's like 3 months. We'd like for you to play. Learn all these songs, and we're gonna go play it and everything.
Yeah, learn this song.
Yeah. Right. So I did when you when you hired us to do it.
I did learn the song.
Yeah. When you hired us to do it, I was like, holy fuck, I got a lot of work to do. So that's all I did for like weeks and weeks. But I can't imagine like
doing that every night of the week.
No,
with a different band.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, how the hell do you just like show up and just be so? Because when you showed up, I didn't know what to expect from you, and you were just like so calm about it. I'm like, you haven't even heard us play one.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know.
I was trusting this guy mainly.
Right, you met him, you talked to him, and that's how we got the gig. But like, you didn't know it. Like, I don't know.
That's part of the fun, though.
Yeah, I guess so. Because why would you take it if you couldn't do it? But
and I was playing with a band for a while back in Northwest Indiana, and I don't want to say it got to the point where it was going through the motions, but you get so comfortable with certain people that it's like, I know every time the drummer's going to do the same turnaround, the violinist is going to do this or whatever. So it's like with this group, the Joe Marcinek Band, every night you have to be completely open and in the moment. You're using your ears. You can't go through the motions. It's not possible. Like, you haven't played with these people before. So what I find typically is that everyone is on their toes and they're actively engaged.
That is true.
So even if you don't, we've never played together, we're so like trusting in the moment that we have to get this right.
Yeah.
That we're giving you that extra effort that when you have a band that's played for years, they kind of, I'm not saying they take a night off, but you have this more laid back approach of, okay, I know the music, I don't have to be so present in it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh crap, we've never played together, we've never rehearsed, we gotta like really make sure this is going on.
Yeah.
Right. I will say, yeah, for sure. Do you advertise that though? Do you be like, we've never played together, like put that on the flyer, and then, or do you think less people would show up if that was the case? Because as a jam band musician, I would be like, holy fuck, they've never played together, I want to go see that.
Well, most people in the scene, that's what they want, is something different every night.
Is the jam. Yeah, exactly.
And so the one of the cool parts I like is go through 3/4 of the show before I say that.
Yeah.
Because it blows everyone away. They're like, you guys sound like a tight band. And I'm like, yep, half the time you've just met that person, 10 minutes before we're about to start.
Yeah.
Because it's a win-win either way. Because it's like, oh, like, look how awesome we are. We never played to each other. And then if we suck, we're like, yeah, we never practiced.
Yeah, we've got the out.
Yeah.
No, sorry, it was first night. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is a wild thing to have to do, because it's not just about pulling the musicians together, it's also that you're booking yourself and you're managing yourself, so you have to you have to
never ends.
Yeah, I was thinking about that this morning as I was kind of like thinking about stuff to ask you. I was like, holy shit, I get stressed out when I know I have to book something just for like like a few months out. Once I get down to the wire, I start getting anxiety. But you have to then put together a band too, and like you don't use just like, typically you don't use just like local guys. Like you'll use pretty big names a lot of the time.
It all depends, like if the budget's there to fly people in or use someone more established.
Yeah.
But then it works both ways, because then you have a name to help advertise.
Sure.
And that's what I found trying to break into new markets when I was playing with that other band. It was like, it was impossible to go to a different town and they've never heard of you.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to sell tickets?
No,
you're lucky if you team up with another band, but then you're opening and half the crowd's not there. So when I can say, say I go to San Francisco, and I remember the first time we played, we almost sold the club out, over 200 tickets. It was because I had Tony Hall there with us and Joey Porter. So, like, they already have a name value. It's still a brand new band, so it's like all these different factors.
It's ingenious.
It's the life hack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's ingenious,
huge,
but
yeah.
like, holy fuck, like it would
It's a lot of work.
not a lot of the work. It was just the anxiety level for me would be through the roof.
Well,
I don't think I can handle that.
When you got guys like Tony Hall and people like that, you're gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Well, and it's improvisation.
Yeah.
That is a skill that if you have anxiety, it's not going to work out well for you, because the whole idea of improvisation is to be in the moment and react. And so it's almost gotten to the point now where it's like it's such a rush of adrenaline that you get addicted to it.
Yeah,
And so it's
it was
like,
definitely a lot of fun.
dude, wouldn't you like to have a set band? I'm like, no, it takes all the fun away.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that.
But there is one other cool thing that so then you have the initial, we've just met each other, that's maybe we play one night or 4 nights. But then the cool part that I'm lucky for is then to know you guys for, year, 2 years or whatever, and get to play. And so you develop this chemistry over a long period of time. Like Steve, the keyboard player last night, I've been playing with him for 7 years. We might only play 4 or 5 times a year, but each time that connection is strong, but it's not going through the motions because we haven't been playing every night.
Right.
So it's like we know each other, but it's still new and it's still exciting.
Yeah.
And you have this like chemistry that's building over years.
It's a cool camaraderie too, because like I feel like there's like these moments on stage when you get to these peak jams, and it's like it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, like when you're communicating on that level where you just feel that everything's going perfectly, and you get there once or twice with that person, and years can go by, but you still have those moments on stage together.
Man.
So when you play together every once in a while, even though you've been doing it over the course of 7 years, maybe a couple times a year or whatever, it's still like, hey, it's like having a conversation with an old friend, or like an old war buddy. You know what I mean?
Big time. And not only that, I feel like we live for that one moment.
Yeah.
Like if every night or every show you can have that one moment where it clicks and you get lost in the song and maybe something unexpected happens, for me, like, that's a good night. Yes, I'd like to play the song perfect and nail the chord changes and get the melody without flubbing something, but like at the end of the day, no one's gonna remember that unless like you really messed up or like dropped your guitar or something.
Right.
But like it was like, oh my god, whatever song that was, they went way out for like 10 minutes, and it's like that's what you remember from that night.
Right.
So how do you set up a band to facilitate that idea? And highlight that potential.
Right.
And so, this past weekend we played for 3 nights. So the first night was kind of like the feeling out because we had George Geekas play bass with us from New Orleans. This is the first time I met him. And so the first night, it was good. But by the second night, it was like no one had to say anything. We were just like right off to the races. It felt good from the first moment. And, no one's worried about playing the songs. It's like he was comfortable then, we were comfortable, and it's like that's the best.
For sure. And you kind of warranted that like that's gonna happen just because you're not rehearsing or anything like that. Like
I would rather not rehearse.
See, this is my unpopular opinion last week. It's like practicing is for losers.
Yeah, that's what he said last week.
Or rehearsing is for losers. Just learn the songs and show up.
Yeah.
So you gotta preface that though.
No, I know. You gotta practice.
You yourself have to rehearse.
You rehearse.
And that's like this
Band
also like
I guess I should have
weird
said.
sense of humor of like I get to see where everyone's at is like how much do you respect the music? Are you going to show up and know the stuff, or are you going to show up and be like, I kind of listened to it one time, show me how that goes.
Yeah, right.
Like with George, he showed up, knew all the songs, wasn't reading any music, and it's like that's the highest level of respect right there.
Yeah.
And you just come in, play it out cold. Because then you're not wasting everyone's time. We don't
I
have
know.
to spend 2 hours in a sound check just running forms.
Yes, I did. I could read sheet music, and that was the other cool part too. Is this is the first time I've ever been hired for somebody where you send me sheet music? And I was like, fuck yeah.
Especially guitar
Hey,
player.
man, I try to make it as easy as
I know.
possible
Yeah,
for
got
you.
to, right? So there's no fuck ups. But yeah, I memorized all of it.
And
That's
then
the way you got to do it.
And then it makes it even that much more fun for you
Yeah.
looking at it, 'cause you're like, bro, I sent you charts,
Man.
I sent you notation.
Yeah, you
I
got no
sent you
excuse.
the tracks that you didn't even. It's
Man,
like
the dog
no
ate my
reason-
charts, man. The dog ate my Dropbox,
The
bro.
dog ate my Dropbox. Yeah. So I actually have. There's 2 questions I want to ask. When you reach out to these bigger names, do you typically like? What's it like trying to get? There's a lot of those guys are busy and they got shit going on. What's it like trying to reach out to them?
Yes and no, though, because no one plays every night.
Yeah.
So a lot of these touring bands will have a set, schedule, and
Right.
then they'll have time off in between. So something like what I'm doing is almost advantageous for them because they don't have to then join another band. They can just pick up a couple of gigs throughout the year when they're off.
Right.
So it kind of works out good in that respect. It's just lining the schedules up is the hardest part.
Right.
Because, like say we really liked the lineup I did last night. Well, to get all 3 of those guys in a normal time,
Yeah.
I feel like I have to preface everything I say with that.
Yeah.
Prior to pandemic, like to get all those 3 of those guys might only be able to happen once or twice a year.
Right.
Because, Jason's with String Cheese and they have their schedule and Steve's got his. And it's like, so a lot of times, and this happened a lot down at Green Parrot in Key West. John loved that lineup with Steve and Jason and Tony. And he's like, I want that exact lineup. Like, I was so lucky just to be able to do it once,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
I can't make this happen, so I'm begging these guys all year long, and half the time they don't know their schedule yet. So
Yeah.
it's like, it is very tricky, but it's also one of the reasons why I have to do it myself, because if I ask an agent to come in and book it, they're going to be like, okay, well, tell me who can play this gig, 6 months
see.
down the road. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Steve, but maybe not.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. You literally have to do it yourself because of
Yeah.
that dynamic. Yeah.
Well, and it's like all these are personal relationships, so it's not like going through one agent to talk to this guy and then another agent.
So do you ever find that barrier where you have to like if you're reaching out to somebody you have to go through their manager or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say about half of the artists will have, an agent or a manager or something that, and that's just, it's easier for them. I mean, they keep it organized. Us musicians are not the most well-organized folk.
Feel that. That's why I want a manager real bad. Yeah, and so then there's the other side of doing the one of the risks of doing what you do is there has to have been scenarios where you've met somebody like the night of and just didn't click with them. Has that ever happened?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't want to name names.
Sure.
but
Yeah.
There was, and you guys know my songs aren't hard, but if you don't have an idea of what's going on, you can't like BS your way through it.
Oh, no,
Right.
yeah, you can't bullshit it at all. At all.
So, and the worst is bass players, because like keys you can just drop out.
Yeah, of
but
course.
if the bass player doesn't know the changes, it's glaringly obvious
Yep.
right on the downbeat that they didn't hit the right chord.
Right.
So yeah, there was one scenario where the bass player just didn't learn any of the tunes, and it was like, well, now what are we gonna play for 3 hours? We can do some cover tunes, but it'd be nice to play some of my original music.
Yeah, of course.
And so, yeah, once you go through like 2 or 3 and they're total train wrecks in front of people, you're like, all right, well, can you sing anything? Let's do that.
Yeah.
And then we'll stretch it for 20 minutes.
Fuck, man.
Just swap out the bass for guitar and just
But-
change
but-
instruments with them.
Yeah, that's a good point. But no, I'm pretty lucky to have really, there's only like one example where it was like really, truly not bad, but it was just like you get disappointed because you know what the potential could be.
Yeah, I've been there.
And
for
it's
sure.
not that no one's a great musician. Half the time, the better musicians they are, the lazier they get.
Exactly.
Because they think their talent affords them the luxury of not having to learn the songs.
100%, man. Yeah, I know.
And it's like, it doesn't matter, what level you're at. That's just comes back to respect. Like, if you respect the situation, you're going to learn the songs.
Exactly. Now,
So-
what about a great? And again, you don't have to name any names or even say if you don't want to. But I love the dirt, bro. Is there-
Anton
Yeah.
LePlume.
I did. I bombed. Well, he gave me a solo, and I can't remember what that was, and it was at the Ringside Cafe.
Ringside.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
That was a fun night, and I played well the whole night, it's just like it was time for my solo, and I just bombed.
Yeah.
That might be the worst I've ever bombed on stage.
Really?
And I just
even remember.
Well, good.
Yeah,
But I
I don't remember either. I couldn't really hear
I
it, but-
clammed up, and it was just bad. And then you're like, do it again. I'm like, great. Let's do it. Let's go one more time.
One more
Like,
round.
Yeah, I got it. And I kind of saved it a little bit. And then that girl, that like prodigy guitarist that you pulled up on
Stephanie.
stage,
Stephanie, yeah.
that was standing
She'll
right.
be at Monster Mash.
Oh, she will be. Oh, nice.
Awesome, man.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
feel like she's the artist at large for it.
Oh,
too.
she might be. Yeah.
She's incredible, but she was standing right next to me watching me. I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
She's like, what, like 18 or 19
You had
years
like
old.
Mark Maya come up after you from a Java.
Yeah.
It was like fucking.
I don't have a lot of pride, so I thought I played well, but I bombed. I definitely bombed that one solo.
Well, and the best part about that is like sometimes that's total perception. Like you might think you played terrible, and then someone in the crowd will be like, "Man, that was the most amazing thing I've ever heard."
I don't think anyone said that.
I
but
mean,
me.
you never know. Man. You never
man.
know,
You
man.
truly never know. And
I faked it though.
that's the greatest thing about like being an I can't talk today. Improvising musician is that like you get to wear your feelings on your solos and your music.
Yeah.
And so it's not like it destroys the idea of a competition and better. Like
Right.
it's subjective. It's this guy tells his story this way, and it's like you're never going to be Mark. You know, like he's grown up his way and had life happen to him. So it's like as soon as you stop focusing about that, it's like complete freedom. You
Yeah.
know, like you just do whatever you do. Don't try to be this other person because you can't be that person.
Yeah,
you always
man.
want to get better and learn more about your instrument.
Yeah.
But if you're more committed to what you're doing, everyone's going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it way more than like just trying to be perfect and be the most technical, you know, or whatever it is. Like just be unapologetically you.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to fucking love that shit.
That's true, man. Yeah.
That's some
for
good
sure.
wisdom.
And
Yeah.
that's like the biggest thing I've learned with playing with all these great musicians is like there's not some secret scale or secret notes or anything. It's just that these guys don't give a fuck. They are coming in to crush it.
Yeah.
They're
for
not
sure.
hung up on, okay, this guy played with him or whoever. It's like, no, we're just doing it.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest barriers for me to break through. It's like I try, like when I'm soloing, I try to be as true to myself as possible, but there's always this voice in the back of your head like, oh, Schofield wouldn't have done that though, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Hearing wouldn't have done that, would
man,
he?
you can't
And it's
do
just
that.
shit like that. I'm just like, do you sound like anybody good right now? It's just like that's the kind of shit that starts happening, and sometimes it's that voice isn't there, and those are my best
Right.
nights. But it's like I think that, but you know, maybe I would hope that's not a unique scenario to me. I feel like every musician
Yeah.
is trying to battle that ego.
all the
You know what I
time.
mean? And it's like, it's wild that pressure we put on ourselves just so we can have a good time, because we did this to have a good time. We didn't do this to
Why are you
like.
doing this? You know.
Yeah, it's just like what do we?
This isn't Whiplash, bud.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So what are we doing?
I
here?
watched Saturday Night Live, and Jack White was on, and he had these like he put like 3 of his songs together, and it was really cool.
Oh, a mashup?
Like a mashup, right? But then he did like guitar solos over each one of them, and it didn't even sound like a guitar anymore. It was like like
Dude, his effects are
crazy, right? But and then like the it didn't even sound melodical, like he was even doing a solo anymore. But the fact that he was like so into it, it just looked like the coolest person of all time. But if you were to put it on paper and be like, this is garbage,
Yeah.
but the performance of it was so good.
Yeah.
And so like you said, be unapologetically.
Well, and I think there's something true to that, where if you're really enjoying it, that has a bigger reach than if you're in your head about it.
Oh yeah.
You know, and like you're saying, like the goal is to have a good time. So if you can't have a good time doing the thing that everyone else is having a good time about, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing it for?
Exactly.
Like, that's what I hate, people that just like stand on stage and have to look so hard and never crack a smile. And it's like, I'm having the best time of my life.
Yeah.
Like, why would I not smile and emote that?
That's
The,
exactly
the
how I
only
feel.
person that gets away with that in my book is Derek Trucks, because
Well.
he just sits there just like, but he's so focused on what he's
Once
doing.
in a generation player. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
He gets all the passes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so, like for instance, last night when we on the last song that we ended with, we started trading back and forth.
yeah.
And I was just
madness.
bro. I was cracking up on stage because I was having such a good time. But if I went back and listened to what I was playing, I know I was hitting tons of wrong notes.
Oh yeah, me too.
Or like,
for sure.
or like I wasn't when we started harmonizing on shit. I wasn't actually harmonizing with you on everything perfectly.
Some altered harmony.
Yeah, some altered harmony. But it's just the fact that we were up there just having a great time, just letting loose, and we weren't thinking about like a standard to try and reach. It's just like, fuck it, man. We're in the moment. We're jamming. We're having a good time. Just fucking go for it, you know. And
I think that's what performance is, anyways. Maybe when you can be a lot more technical and like, let's try to create the most amazing thing in the studio on like an actual
Big
record.
time.
But yeah, for a performance is for fun. Have a good time. Let's go.
That's
and
a
I
good way to
think
describe
maybe
it. Yeah.
that's getting lost somehow now with the stream aspect.
Yeah.
Because everyone's doing these streams from home now, and it's like you're getting so caught up in your head because the audience isn't there. You've lost that feedback loop.
Yeah.
You know, but still, even watching a live stream, wouldn't you? It's more entertaining to watch someone having fun than to like, you know, play this concerto, you know, 100% correct.
Sure.
Like, that's cool, but you're probably going to get bored after a little while.
Yeah,
but if they're cracking jokes and got hot dogs flying through the air and stuff like.
Yeah, definitely hot dogs.
Yeah, definitely.
Flying hot dogs.
Yeah, flying hot dogs. Right.
But do the buns have wings, or are the buns the wings?
The buns are the wings.
The buns of the wings. So does that mean pigs have wings? Pigs can fly?
Well, they are a hot dog.
They're hot dogs. Unless it's
some
a beef,
part of
beef sausage.
Oh, that's just a beef sausage, and they're not
or
pigs
alligator.
flying.
We're in Florida.
Yeah.
I never had an alligator dog.
They what's the joint in New Orleans right on Frenchman? They've got like 100 different types of hot dogs, and one of them's
Gator
alligator.
dog?
It's
For
so
real?
good.
Yeah.
So good.
Gator tail's
bet
good.
it is.
Get you some while you're in Florida, bud. Gator tail's good.
Gator tail is very good. I love gator. It's actually really good. A little fishy, but sorry, not a little fishy. Surprisingly fishy, but it's really good.
It's like fish chicken.
Is that an unpopular opinion or no?
No, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But if you want, if you want to hold on to that
We're
for
just
later.
letting it simmer.
yeah,
Not a big fan of alligators. Just my unpopular opinion.
Crocodiles, take it or leave it.
Crocodiles are fine. Crocodiles are good. They don't get to be about 10, 12 feet long. Alligators, not a fan.
Sorry, actually, you're wrong about that. Crocodiles get to be much larger.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
Steve
actually
Irwin.
crocodile. I'm reptilian, so
Yeah,
I know about
that
this
makes
kind
sense.
of
I
stuff.
heard alien.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Slowly revealing.
your tail's showing. You might want to tuck that in.
Anyways, that one really got away from us. So I actually did want to ask you. You've been like in bands where you like haven't been the band leader, where you've just been hired.
Side man.
Yeah.
Side hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it.
Do you feel like that experience informed your ability to be a better band leader?
Oh, always.
And also your experience as a band leader, does that make you a better side guy?
100%.
Give him one at a time. Bud.
Sorry, I just
No, he's just lobbing them up. And
Yeah,
I'm
I'm just
hitting some home runs off these. No, the best advice I got, Brent McPike, my guitar teacher in college, told me take any gig you can get. Now, this is when you're first starting. Once you get in your lane, maybe that's not good advice. But when you're first starting out, you don't know what you like or what anything is. So if you can be open to every situation, you're going to learn from it. I remember doing this gospel gig, and I was terrible, like playing everything wrong. And I was like, I got some work to do. But had I not done that gig, I might not have had that knowledge.
right.
And when you're first starting out, the biggest thing is experience. You just need to be playing. That's how you get better. And for a lot of people, like, it's playing with other people, which prior times,
I'm gonna start calling it P2P.
Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic.
Okay.
Because like and especially in a band situation, you can't rehearse that. Like you can't rehearse playing with other people because some people play fast, some play slow. Singers don't know forms, so like you need that experience to know how to back them up or support them as a band sideman.
Yeah.
Also as a leader, how to give them cues when it's time to come in.
Right.
So just taking any gig that you can learn from, is huge. And going to open mics or sitting in, and it's just like you got to build that musical intuition or whatever, like your gut. And it's not always going to lead you right, but I think you get informed enough to be able to follow it. And then the times it's wrong is like when you're surprised and you're like, oh, that didn't go to the floor. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
or
well,
whatever it is,
That was something that I really loved when I was getting started down south, was going to the blues jams.
God,
and
yeah.
the blues jams were great, man. South Florida's got this weird kind of like blue, not a weird blues start. It's actually a great blues scene. It's unexpected that it would be there. A lot of guys that tour around Europe and all that stuff. So it was cool getting to get up there and play with these, like J.P. Soares and Albert Castillo and like big names in the blues scene, and you're just like, you get to play. And why it was so great is because first off, in blues, you basically just solo for as long as you want until they tell you to stop.
Unless you're the bass player.
Right?
And
you
you
never
get
get
no
to do
solos.
anything at all. You're just there. You're just there to provide some low notes. That's it.
But if you play the wrong low notes, you're out.
Oh, those guys are so wild with their shit, man. It's great because you really learn. Like, I played guitar with a blues band for about a year, and we did a lot of road stuff. And I learned he was a harmonica player, a great one. But I learned about the nuances and all that shit, about like what they're looking for in each player. But it was great for the chops because you just, again, you solo for a long time, and then blues. In blues, they do these weird things where it's like it's not always like a 12-bar 1-4-5. Sometimes they'll jump to the 5, and then it's like just listening for those little differences allows you to go into other scenarios and just be listening for the little tricky shit,
Oh yeah, and what's cool about the blues is it's honest music. It's not very complicated, so it has to have the feeling behind it, the emotion behind it. So any style of music can be informed by the blues, and for me, the best stuff has the blues as the foundation because it's an emotion. You're feeling it. It's not a technical exercise.
Right.
You're being able to take that and convey the emotion to it. So man, the blues, it's where it's at.
Yeah,
I just got to play with Eric Gales a little while ago.
Oh, that's so cool.
Hope he's doing better. I heard he's in the hospital, so send our love out to him. But
oh shit, yeah, for sure.
Man, he was just like blowing us away. And he plays complicated stuff, but he also can bring it home and just hit you with the soul.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, woo, you get a taste of that. You're like, give us some more.
Yeah, he's got like a bite to his playing, man. You just like just his energy and the way he attacks the guitar, but then his tone is just so piercing and like.
Kara said she had him at Blue Jay coming up.
She did?
Said they got to reschedule because he got sick. But
oh shit!
Could you imagine seeing Eric Gales at Blue Jay?
That'd be a wild ride. I'll say that much. Yeah. And who's the other guy? He was playing with this guy Josh. He's like a fusion blues guy. Josh something. I can't remember.
Oh, from Nashville.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I met him with Eminence. Josh Smith, right?
Yeah, Josh Smith.
Yeah, you see the videos where they're just like going back and forth.
So nasty. I'm just like, God damn it, man! You guys are just like took the blues to the next level,
But they can weave it back in. It's like you get like I was saying earlier, it's the wave that you can get complicated, but then you bring it back in.
Right.
So it's like intellectually, I can't talk today.
That's all right.
Intellectually stimulating. It hits your mind, but then it'll come back and hit you in the heart.
Yeah.
So it's like a full experience.
I watched this interview with Josh Smith where he was like, I don't go outside of the pentatonic scale when I'm playing blues. I don't go outside the pentatonic scale until I feel like my body can't not go outside. So I will exhaust those notes until the point where it's like I just have to get out of here now. But it was really cool because you'll hear him play and he's got all these little nuanced things that he's doing and very just like his pocket and everything. And then it'll be
throwing a little run. And
yeah.
you're like, whoa,
and then go
that?
right back to it, and you're just like, God damn, the level of restraint that it takes to know all your options, and then just kind of give you a little flavor every once in a while.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man.
Like cooking or something.
Yeah.
Adding the right ingredients.
Yeah, I love that.
You were
shit.
doing it yesterday, though. I think, was it hyperbole or? I don't know. You played this blues riff, and then it was like you went into this little bebop thing.
Yeah.
Like 2 bars here, 2 bars here, and I was like, oh, that was sweet.
I do these little diminished runs. I'm just like, yeah, it's jazz. I'll do that.
Jazz.
I'm also a big fan of doing chromatic runs up to a resolution note because that just makes me sound jazzy too.
Go half step.
Yep. So that's my formula. Just hit wrong notes until you land on the right one.
And that is the definition of jazz.
Billy does not like jazz.
I don't know. I don't understand it. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
I can play jazz if it's written down on sheet music.
Do you like the blues?
No.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I do like I do like blues. I do like the blues. but like you said, it's basically the same, like all the way through.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, no, I mean like it's following like the 1-4-5, the progressions and everything like that. The formula, the formula is like exactly the same the whole way. And then the other thing that you said at the beginning, where it's basically just solos,
It's a lot of solos.
like solos the whole way through.
Yeah.
So, I do like it. I just don't know about it at all.
Yeah,
or
I've tried
anything.
to take you to school on it, and you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
this all sounds the same to
But
me.
exactly,
I'm like,
that's
doesn't, bro.
Going over his
it's
head.
going over my head and
It's
everything.
like,
Like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I'll show you like a slow blues, and I'll show you like a shuffle, and I'll show you like a 6/8 kind of thing, and then you're just like, it's just all guitar
I'm not-
solos.
I'm
Is
not
it a
trying to
guitar thing though? If
Yeah,
you heard
it's-
like a
it's-
good piano
it's-
player,
Oh man, like when there was like a good piano player playing, I'm like, oh, holy shit,
something
this
like
is great.
Art Tatum or something.
Yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
Peterson.
But
or
every
something.
time it's like a guitar, I'm just like, dude, it's just a guitar solo
Wheedly,
the whole
wheedly,
time.
wheedly,
Yeah, I'm just
wheedly.
like, okay, we get it. Yeah, you're good at guitar. Next,
Yeah.
let me hear the next guitar solo or the next one. Sorry,
I think that's an unpopular opinion.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna. Well, I guess I did just out myself that I don't.
Yeah.
It's on camera.
It's on
camera.
But I'm not being ignorant about it.
Like-
I'm not being like, oh, this is dumb. This is stupid. I'm like, of course I appreciate it. It's just more just like
That's
not
my
for me.
unpopular opinion. I like bass solos.
You like bass?
Oh, I love bass
You like
solos.
bass solos? Yeah.
It might be because then I get a chance to like chill out for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's also something the way a great bass solo sounds. Like just the bass as a soloing instrument sounds so pretty if you do it the right way. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I definitely don't hate blues or jazz or anything like that. I definitely don't understand jazz. As far as blues goes, I'm like, I get blues.
The reason why I like you, the reason why I want you to like blues more, just so you can have some more like blues
yeah,
inflections
those
in your
piano
playing.
chops and everything with blues, I want to learn more
That's
of them
all.
for sure.
That's why it's like you were saying. It's like the best music, at least in my opinion, is like you can do all the fancy shit, or you can be super simple. Just throwing a little fucking blues run
Just
in
like,
there. You got me. That's
Yeah,
all
I
you
got
gotta do.
I feel you.
did
Yeah.
you like New Orleans music?
Yeah, like when we went there, it was great. Is that what you're saying?
Well, like the meters and like that. Like,
Yeah,
funky
Professor
kinda
Longhair, and because it's a lot. New Orleans music blends blues and jazz,
Yeah.
but in this like funky gumbo,
Yeah.
and a lot
Yeah.
of it is very piano heavy.
I don't know.
So I think if you dug into some of that, you'd really like Dr. John and
Yeah.
Longhair and James Booker and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I definitely have to get into it and you know, what's the word? Not get into it, like dive into it, I guess, to really understand it. But like I said, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that
Hasn't hit you.
it's just more of just like it's all kind of the same. I like stuff that like is new, or I want to hear a new sound that I've never heard before, or like a new way of writing a song or something like that. That's kind of my favorite thing. But as far as the old school sort of like the best like instrumental players or anything like that, I appreciate it. But
Right.
I'm almost just like, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good at your instrument.
Yeah, we
and
get
then
it,
kinda,
yeah.
And then I'm kind of just like,
Quit showing off.
well, it's not even that showing off. I'm not because that
No,
makes
that's
you sound
exactly
like,
what you say to me.
'Cause
That's
that-
exactly. It's like just stop. You're just fucking guys just showing off.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of soloing.
that. I mean, when you boil it down,
Yeah, we-
that's what it is. It's just who can play the best solo.
No, because it's not a
No,
competition.
it's you. You're
Yeah.
being you.
I'm
Yeah,
saying like
exactly.
Bring
where
it back.
Exactly.
where are you throwing? Where's Bruce Springsteen in this? Where's like the like
Bruce
the,
Springsteen's great
right,
songwriter.
exactly. You know what I mean? But,
But you want to hear the Bruce Springsteen of blues guitar.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's what I
Albert
wanted.
Collins.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh,
well,
I love Albert Collins.
well, I'm just saying.
Iceman.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the record.
Yeah.
dude.
I sound ignorant, but I tried for years. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, I can't get into it. I don't know.
There's nothing
I feel
wrong with
you.
it.
I like dance
I know.
music.
Don't encourage him. There's a lot wrong with that, but it's fine. You can be you, bro.
Yeah, be,
No, I know.
Be you. Unapologetically you.
That's
So
right.
for instance, so when we got hired to do this, and I was like, I've got to learn how to play this style of music. I was like, I gotta do this, and I practiced my ass off to do it, and I just not very good.
Yeah.
But I
I
held.
disagree.
I
I
held-
thought
I
I
held
had
my own.
fun.
But
Yeah, it was a blast.
You would have never guessed, I guess, then if if you knew me before you hired me that I didn't know how to play that then.
Or just
So I did a good job.
Yeah.
I thought you did a great job.
And stop outing yourself, bro. People don't know. People don't live in your head when it comes to your ability to do shit. You know what I mean? So you
No,
don't
right.
have to. So
I'm just saying about blues and jazz.
yeah,
and
I feel
everything.
you. But speaking of practicing,
Basically all we played.
I know, exactly.
Extended solos.
No, I know.
But then you played the Boston song and crushed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's why I really liked it so much. 'Cause
When did
that's
we play
like my
that?
favorite song of all time.
Really? Yeah, it's a good one.
I think we ended it at Blue Jay
And Ringside.
And Ringside, yeah, okay.
I made
Yeah.
you guys play it at Blue Jay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and had to kind of play it.
I was like,
yeah.
peace, I'm taking this one off.
take it-
Yeah, it's a banger for
That's
sure.
good.
But I don't know.
You got to know when to shut up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not faking my way through this song.
That's a tough one
Play
to
the
fake
power
your way through.
chords on the chorus, but that's about it.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of practicing, is you talk about practicing like on your own and stuff. Do you
Yeah.
have time to practice pre-COVID? Like with traveling so much, do you make time when you're at home to practice?
At home, yes. On the road, it gets harder.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of times you're traveling all day, and then it's go to the gig, sound check. If you're lucky, go eat, play the gig. Back to the hotel, get up early, travel to the next day. So there's not a lot of time. You can make time, by giving up sleep, but sometimes you're just so wore out that it doesn't happen. But the good thing about the way I was on the road, I wanted to play every night. So your chops are up because you're playing all the time.
Right.
It's not like you have a gig, then 4 days off, then a gig, because then you would need to practice to keep the chops up.
Sure.
But that's been one of the nice things about the pandemic, is just being able to sit at home and write and just have a lot of free time to explore.
Yeah.
So I've probably came up with at least 10 new songs. So it's all kind of stewing about like, do you want to do an album? I'd kind of started the series at the end of last year where I was going to do, for my next album, a different lineup on every song, so more representing the band. And then, so we did one with George Porter in Atlanta, and I played with his trio. And then we did one in February with Melvin Seals and the Galbraith Girls.
Yep, I saw that. I heard, but those tracks are phenomenal. By
Yeah,
the way.
so it was cool that it was going to be this whole concept, and then it kind of got derailed. So I don't know if I should just pick that back up or move on to a new concept.
Yeah.
But the other cool thing I did was like, I'm doing all this work, getting a studio for just one song. It's kind of a waste. So for both those sessions, I said, let's just improvise and make something up. So I was going to do like a bonus album of just the made-up songs.
That's cool.
And so the two I got are pretty wild. It's
Yeah.
like each one is way different because it's just like, all right, let's just jam on something and record it.
Where did you record at, you said?
So the one in Atlanta was Diamond Street Studios.
Okay.
And then the one in Orlando was Castle Door.
Okay, cool.
So the ones you have on Spotify, the Melvin and George,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those were improvised tunes you did?
No, those were the ones I wrote out.
Okay.
But I have, and 2 additional songs from those sessions.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which, if I can throw a quick plug to my Patreon,
Please, yeah.
those songs are on there. So
Sweet.
feel free to check that out if you'd like to hear that and a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's been another fun thing of every Monday, except for today since I'm on the road. Ooh.
Yeah.
I try to put out new content every week.
On Patreon?
For the Patreon. So I've been like digging through, finding old recordings, stuff, that I would just write on GarageBand or something, and just like try to do something new every week. So it's a fun way to like force you to be creative, especially right now where, there's not a lot of gigging opportunity.
Are you getting a lot of traction on Patreon?
Since I don't have a band to split it with, it's tremendously helping me. So I really appreciate it. It's not life-changing, but
No.
at this point, it's probably a good, I don't know, 3 or 4 gigs a month. So it's
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
definitely
man.
helps.
That's great.
We're trying to get ours off the ground as well, but we're kind of coming up empty with the content
Yeah.
ideas and everything like that. We're like, what can we do to put on there? But you're saying that you just put on songs that you're working on, or
Demos, yeah.
just demos and stuff like that, and they're like, I want to hear it.
I haven't
No
got a
offense.
lot of feedback, but people aren't canceling their accounts, so they're either not listening, which that would be weird if you're supporting and not listening.
Yeah.
It's like a gym membership.
Or they enjoy it, and yeah, right. They're just like, we signed up. I don't want to cancel it.
I got
Yeah.
tons of money. Fuck it.
Yeah, I got tons of money. COVID's doing well for me.
So yeah, I haven't got a lot of feedback, but sometimes no news is good news. So.
Yeah, true that.
So if anything, it's helping me to just stay fresh and be creative every week.
So you mostly just do audio recordings? You do videos or what?
I've done a couple of like videos. I've got a drummer and a bass player up north who I play with a lot, Andy Sutton and Ola Timothy. So in the early days of the pandemic, like we were getting together once a week and just either do a live stream or we'd film a song or something like that. So I'd say it's maybe a little like 60-40 audio versus video, but I've got quite a bit of video stuff on there.
How do you advertise for that?
So, and that was a weird thing. A lot of it was social media when I started, and then, all the craziness broke out in June, and it was like, I don't feel right, like, posting about my social media when all this crazy stuff's going on in the world. So, like, I kind of just stopped advertising for it, and now what I'll do is I'll just share a link on, Facebook or Instagram, once I put something new up.
Have you noticed a drop off in people signing up since you've been advertising less?
It was cruising. Then June, it was like flatline.
Yeah.
But I haven't really been sending it out. So, I guess it, if it's meant to be at a certain place, it'll be there. And I'm happy where it is now, so I'm not like really trying to push it.
Yeah.
If it starts falling off, then maybe I would, really start spreading it. But I think you can almost maybe overdo it. And that's a fine line of promoting where you're like, you push too hard and now you're pushing people away. They're like, okay, we get it, bro. You got a show. Shut up about it.
Yeah, it comes off as like begging almost. Like you're begging for somebody to contribute or to show up.
And like half the time the cool stuff is like, other people talk about it for you.
Oh, yeah,
like,
totally.
if you're really good, you don't need to say anything about it.
Yep.
The word will spread because it's really good content. Or,
Right.
I'm sure you guys have had that with certain videos where it doesn't matter if you guys are all sharing it. If it's a really good podcast, it's going to take off.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Or really entertaining. I don't know.
Like this one, probably.
How do you define the word good? No one's going to listen to this.
In comparison,
Wah, wah.
in comparison to the other ones we have. I was gonna say it's so tricky nowadays. Like, how you want obviously everybody to go to your Patreon or pay subscription service or something like that where they have to pay to listen to you. But then the advertisement for that, if you don't put your content out for free, how the hell are they gonna find it? Or how are you even gonna get to that level where they want to pay to see more?
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do that.
Well, the one thing I found is I've been doing this for like 10 years, so there's people that have supported me. So I think that's what I've gone to. It's not necessarily finding new people. It's people that have been following the band for 10 years that they like what I do and they want to support me. So I'm lucky in that essence of having earned goodwill from playing for so long.
True.
And I don't think you can skip that step. You can't just buy a newspaper advertisement and say, hey, check out this. Like in the people want to support a band because they like them.
Right.
Right. It's not. You can't trick people into giving you money like you can with your long solos and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to earn that goodwill, and the hard thing is, especially right now, you can't go out and gig. So it's like you guys are doing this. You're finding new ways to be creative and get your stuff out there.
Right.
Now, I got to ask, on these podcasts, do you ever play, or is it all just
No, we wanted to eventually, but I don't really we don't have the equipment to like make it sound as good as we want to and everything like that. Like, we could do that, and we actually have had. I take that back. We've done 2 band streams.
Yeah.
And we have a sound guy come from 1904, Eric Kaufman, and it's like mostly acoustic.
Right.
But to get like a full drum mics
that
and
would be tough.
it's not that it would. We could definitely do it, and even you've been doing it at what's the
New Standard.
The New Standard. Yep. And that's what I wanted to do originally with this podcast, was to be like Daryl's house and then be like, hey, you're on the road, like fucking come sit in and play a song.
Well, that could be cool, especially now with a lot of venues being closed.
Right.
to bring the concept to them and say, hey, could we do our podcast at your venue, once a week or once a month?
But I think you're our first guest who's from out of town.
Yeah,
You know
most
what I
of our
mean?
guys have been like local guys.
Well,
and,
yeah, no one's traveling.
No one's
right
traveling.
now.
Yeah.
That was the original intent. We've been talking about doing this podcast for about a year.
Yeah.
And then it was just but we were on the road a lot, and we were gigging, just didn't have the time. And then COVID happened. It was like, why don't we just start doing this? But the original intention of the podcast was to actually get bands that are playing in town to come on and jam and do that whole thing. And then so that we hope to get to that point. But as we've been doing this has been a lot of fun doing just like this setup. And then once we can get some sponsors that can put in some real
Kara at Blue Jay.
Kara at Blue Jay.
Not just free drinks.
She's sweet. She's
or a
sweet.
meal.
Actually, that is a pretty good
That's a
sponsorship.
Sweet yeah, I know. But once we can start generating some kind of income to reinvest back into what we're trying to do here, we can hire like Eric to come out and do a once a month thing with us. And we can get a band on and jam with them, and that's what the goal is with this whole thing.
I wanted it to be like half Daryl's house and half Howard Stern, like seriously. So
Yeah,
because
funny.
they have musicians all the time, like they have fucking Metallica on, and
that was a good one,
right? they were literally talking to them behind their
instruments,
musicians, and there's and Howard Stern was just like, yeah, I could just play under the stand, man. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's the most badass fucking lineup ever. So I want to do that for sure.
Yeah,
But
I've got some friends in Illinois
money.
that do one called Tunes for a Minute. That's their podcast. And what they did was they would get different musicians to come in, and the two guys that host, Colin and Ryan, are musicians themselves. So they either team up or just have a band come up with a minute of a song. But it's all got to be brand new, and they got to come up with it together.
That's cool.
So that's actually how I came up with Funnily. Like, they were telling me about it, so I'm like, all right, kind of thinking about it beforehand. So that's where I came up with that intro progression.
the ADGBC.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then during the podcast, he said something funnily. I don't know. It came up like just in the conversation. So like I married those two concepts together.
Cool.
But I thought that was like a creative way to do it, of like bringing in these bands and they're like, hey, let's try to just make up a song for a minute.
Yeah, that'd be that's a great idea. Yeah.
Just like different ways to pull some creative ideas out of people.
We have had a couple of live streams like that using this exact setup.
Yeah.
And but I thought it would be so cool to be like, because it would be awesome to have a whole band on and everything like that.
Big
But
time.
if it was just you or whatever, if we had a whole like band room set up just ready to go and be like, all right, this is a great interview, let's go play a song.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you done any on Zoom or no?
No, not yet. We're on the fence about doing it because it's like, I don't know. I see it on like Jimmy Fallon or stuff like that. It just looks bad.
Yeah.
And
And then you have to worry about like what they're using, like their like laptop, or if there's any time delay. And I don't know.
And
I would. You know what I mean?
And there's an element about just being here, hanging out.
Yeah.
That's really hard to capture, like over the phone or whatever. So it's just like it's. So yeah, we've entertained it, but this just makes more sense right now.
No, I feel you. That's kind of why I stopped doing I was doing some live streams earlier in the year, and it's just like, I don't know, it's missing that element. It's like 1/16 of the thing you really love.
It's not even, and it has nothing to do really even with the audio or video quality. It's the fact that it's just you and it's nobody else there.
Yeah.
The song ends and it's this awkward silence, and you're
Yeah.
like, thank you, everybody.
Exactly.
I'd rather go watch the saxophonist outside of Publix that is just panhandling.
Yeah.
You should stream him.
You're right.
There we
Like that
go.
would make more sense, but anyways.
Unpopular opinion.
Well, yeah.
We're full of them today.
The live stream stuff. As soon as everything was shut down, they're like, "This is what we're gonna do. We can all do this right now." And then it was just like, "Oh, it's so saturated," and they're like 95% of them were bad.
Yeah.
The quality, yeah.
Quality,
that's
yeah.
so hard to get something good.
But
Sounding.
we did like I said, we did two really good ones.
Yeah, we did the fundraiser.
We did a
for the album. It
fundraiser
was
for our
great.
album, and we raised a lot of money. And you're gonna get your money back soon. 'Cause
Another unpopular
yeah,
opinion.
Eventually. Maybe.
No, we got you. We got you good stuff.
Maybe.
No, we got you.
We didn't
covered.
actually sign
He actually
anything.
went to the casino and lost it all.
Yeah.
Going to Vegas, betting on black. Let's go.
Double or nothing.
Yeah, double or nothing.
Speaking of studio stuff, what's when you're in the studio? What's that process like? Do you record just live, take through this tune, or do you do tracking like individually?
So everything I've done has been in the live situation. Slink was the most produced, and a lot of that credits Joey Porter, who produced that album. But it was a collaboration of different ideas. Like, I'd send him song sketches, but he really took the helm as far as, like, you know, tone ideas and you know, adding percussion and different little things, where, like, JM3 was an organ trio, so we just went in, three of us played each song.
Who played
It
organ on
wasn't
that
adding.
one?
Will Blades.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That makes sense now about Slink. That's the one that Bernie's on, right?
Mhm.
I love that song. We never played it, but I learned the whole solo to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So good.
But so Joey played that too, I imagine?
Well, so Bernie played the initial melody, and
I'm sorry, what?
Joey did the outro solo.
Bernie Worrell played on that album?
And it, crazy as it is, ended up being his last ever recording.
Oh,
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I thought I would just call Bernie as an homage to him, because I was looking at the year it came out, and I was like, oh, he passed away. So it's like, oh, it's like an homage to him.
Mhm.
But that's him playing?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, I never knew that. That's amazing.
I got to work with him. We did 3 runs in 2015,
Yeah.
and then we recorded that early in January of 2016. And I think he passed away in April, maybe.
Yeah,
Shit,
exactly.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. I love the Talking Heads so much. That's like one of my favorite bands ever.
Too, he wrote the language of the synthesizer.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, he's one.
all Bernie.
That's what I was trying to get at too. Like that's my like thing that I hook onto is synthesizers, electronic stuff like that. Like I want to hear the craziest newest
Oh man, you
sounds.
would have loved Mullets. He's like
Oh, you don't think I know who Steve Mullins is from Particle? Like I've been obsessed with this since like
he is the
2009.
synth-
Yeah.
synth man.
I call him Keyboard Jesus.
Yeah.
I wish I could have got.
Keyboard Jesus.
He looks like Jesus. He looks like Jesus, and he'll even play like this. He does the
does.
what's that guy's name? Oh my god, I can't believe my other favorite keyboardist.
Chris Angel.
No,
Mind
no,
Freak?
no, the dude from Yes. God damn
Oh,
it.
not Wakeman.
Rick Wakeman. Rick
Yeah,
Wakeman.
yeah,
He
Wakeman.
does the Rick Wakeman pose, but Steve Mullins is so skinny and has the long brown hair. He looks like Keyboard Jesus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling him.
Funny.
There's this one DVD.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's this one DVD that I used to have. I can't remember the name of the Launch. I think was the name of
Launchpad.
Yes, and they had that DVD of him playing, and I was just like, this is most amazing. I want to be Steve Mullins. Sorry.
You should have came, man. I
I
would have
I
got
really
you
wanted
in.
to go. I felt bad. I didn't want to take away.
Bro.
Sorry.
Sorry, I apologize.
Sorry.
Bro.
Sorry.
That was probably more of my fault. I wasn't like.
Yeah, I
pushing him to come.
kinda
didn't know what the
reached-
situation
I
was,
kind of
you
reached
know?
out to Tony. I was like, "Yeah, break a leg tonight, man." And I was like, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, cool, thanks." I was like,
You know what I mean? It's just, it's with COVID and everything. It's just a weird time. It's one of
Right.
those things where I'm just like, I don't know, like.
I didn't want to be because it's $50 a ticket. Like I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
like, hey, now somebody can't come in
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, I think that it probably does get to a certain capacity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where she can't let anyone else in.
Yeah.
That's
So-
That's
what
kind of where I was
thinking.
just
We
like.
could have had him hanging out back in the green room now.
Now I've seen
done that, yeah.
That's the best view of the keys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
true.
Particles so many times too. So like, I was like, okay. I was a little sad that I had to miss it, but I knew I was gonna miss it as soon as it was
All
announced.
right. I feel like a dick. So.
Don't feel like a
Me
dick.
too. I should have invited
No,
you.
you came
too,
over here. We're
man.
talking about it. It's cool. I watched it on the live stream and everything. It was great.
Keezus.
No,
Jesus.
Space
We
keyboard.
gotta
Jesus.
get a shirt made that says Keezus.
Oh my god, it would be. It's so hilarious. I've had that as an inside joke for like 10 years about Steve Mullins.
Keyboard Jesus.
He looks just like Keyboard Jesus, especially when he does the anyways.
And he's Jewish, so it's just like makes.
Oh,
my
he is? I
God,
didn't know
even
that.
better.
Shit,
There
sorry.
you go.
Hopefully I didn't just do a hate crime. Right? All right.
Ooh, this is an early episode too.
No, I
It's
know.
just-
And I've just been drinking coffee. Good lord.
So yeah, man. So Slink was your most produced record.
Yeah. We went way off the deep end.
Par for the course.
Yeah, Slink, and then Jam 3 was the organ trio. So yeah, I mean, with what I do, it's kind of like every project's going to be different, at least for right now. You know, there's no like formula for the studio. So that's why I was just really excited about the concept of like a different band for each track on the album would be more representing what my band actually is. You know, so then, and I was also trying to do a video of every song too. So then it's like you get to actually see each of these lineups. So who knows? I'll finish it, but I don't know. I've wrote a new batch of songs that kind of feel like one album. So I don't know if I should do these current songs and then go back to that idea or incorporate those two into the new. Just like, and it doesn't really matter right now. Like, if you release an album, it's not like you can go on the road and tour and promote it.
That's
no,
what we've been coming across
we're
too.
kind of in the same boat too. Like we wrote an album, and while during Corona, we wrote all these new songs. We're like, fuck, none of these are gonna be on the new album, and they're kind of better.
Yeah, kind of better. Well, it's also like just we've been recording this project, and it's like we've been kind of not in a rush to finish it because what we're going to do, release it and then it just goes into the ether, and there's no touring, there's no nothing on it.
But
so
that could be a thing for the Patreon though. Every
that's
maybe
true,
once a month or every week or something. You do it that way as opposed to just putting out a whole album. Like you give them the whole process of writing and recording it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So just maybe give one song off the album a month onto the Patreon, and then
or even if it hasn't been recorded yet, you send them the demo, the first mix, and then you have different steps so you get to see the whole thing come alive.
So the real reason we started this podcast on is to have people like you come on and then just
so you can steal all our ideas.
And I'm not fucking around. We've done that at least 4 times.
At least, yeah.
But that's a great idea.
Usually not musical ideas, more like
we're gonna do that
business stuff. But yeah.
Oh, business ideas.
Oh yeah. So we're not gonna take your refs or anything like that.
I didn't sign a NDA though. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So it goes both ways. He can steal our stuff.
Man, I'm glad I didn't invite him to this show.
Yeah, right. This fucking guy, bro.
No, I would have. I always, whenever I meet somebody that I've listened to for years and years and years, I go silent. I get starstruck. So if you introduce me to Steve Mullins, I'd just be like, hey,
yeah,
Keezus.
Hey, Keezus.
That's me with your synth solo.
Yeah.
Woo!
And the drummer from String Cheese too. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting his name. Jason. Yeah. I saw him play with Yodo at Freebird back in 2009, and when the first time dubstep was just happening, and I was just oh my god, this is the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's all improv and everything too.
Yeah.
So. Anyways.
Yeah, it was fun. Jason's a phenomenal drummer, man.
Oh, he's insane.
He's just and super dynamic and responsive and just I don't know. Bro, this is one song you guys did last night. I can't remember which one. You did it during sound check and then you played it again halfway through the night. It's slower, kind of got this
a newer one?
I think it's a newer one. That's why I was asking if it was something that you've done recently or if it's a cover, but it was instrumental.
There a drum solo or no?
No, it was really soft. The drumming was it's a just really.
It's called Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's kind of like a sus kind of thing, vibe to it. Very chill.
All my songs.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that. I'm the same way. Yeah, it was such a pretty tune, man. You guys jammed really good on. It was I stopped what I was doing. I walked over to the stage and I was like, holy shit. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, love that tune.
Yeah, it's weird that during this downtime I've been able to write, because initially the goal for writing with this band was I wanted songs that were easy enough where anyone could pick it up.
Yeah.
So if you write something more complicated, you're less and less likely to be able to play it in a throw and go situation.
Yeah.
So during this time I had guys that I could not write for, but who were helping me to flesh out these songs. So it was we could get into something a little busier. It wasn't just a 12-bar form or something.
Right.
So that was one of those where it was I knew I could take a little bit more, it's not just an AABA kind of thing. It was a longer form, and then we added the improvisation in the middle.
Right.
So yeah, that's probably the most excited about I think that song is the one I'm really digging the most out of all the new stuff.
Is that going to be something? I guess you said that your thing is kind of like every album's different. Is that something that you want to do more of, more compositional stuff?
Possibly. I don't know. I just like take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Can't really plan that out because it's like inspiration comes in so many different ways that if a bunch of just like 12-bar blues songs came to me tomorrow, then I'd do that, you know. So
Right.
it's the blessing and the curse, though, because you're not always inspired. So if you just wait to be inspired, you might never get inspired.
Oh, I think about that all the time. Is like when I come up with a song, I always think to myself, if I hadn't have sat down today to write this song, and I would just be like, I just don't feel like playing today, the song never would have existed.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a little bit of that forcing it out.
Right. So that's why I always like to be like, okay, just sit down and just mess around on your instrument for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. If you're not if you're not gonna just practice a song or rehearse for whatever you're working on, just sit down for like an hour a day and just mess around on it, because who knows what's gonna come out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can even go back to
Do you ever find that like you'll get the germ of an idea?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm really digging this, and then you go to develop it, and you're like, I can't do this. It sounds like this song now, or it sounds like that.
Yeah, that is
And then
true.
you just scrap the whole thing.
Oh yeah, there's a mountain of unused songs and riffs that I've made for sure.
Same.
But still, my whole point was about waiting for inspiration to come.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm on that side. I'm just sit down and do it.
It just happens by accident.
It'll happen. Well, I guess that kind of is the thing, but it's almost like fishing. Like if you're not gonna catch a fish if you just go out there once a week. Like you got to do it every day.
Yeah.
Or the longer that you put yourself out there, you play for an hour and not come up with anything.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
And I think writing is a muscle you have to develop as well.
Yeah. And there's exercises and stuff you could do, but
yeah, because I found that too, of like trying to be able to capture a feeling or an emotion in writing, so that the more you do it, then when you do have something that inspires you, you're ready to be able to write a song about it because you've been working on that idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But writer's block is a bitch for sure. I think one of these famous composers, I can't remember if it was Tchaikovsky or Rachmaninoff or something like that, he had a 9 years writer block where he didn't write anything for 9 years.
Wow.
And he was like the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an idea this morning that I just like it came to me as I was like actually after listening to George, I was giving like another listen. I hadn't listened to it in a while.
Nice.
And then I heard the bass line. I was like, that's a sick bass line.
That's
and
my favorite part of the whole album.
So good, man. And then I was like,
The George Washington song?
no, it's just
the
single.
new one.
Yeah. The single that's out there.
He comes in. I think it's either the first or the second solo. He changes the line a little bit.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh.
Yeah, it was like infectious, and I was starting to get ready, and I heard like a variation of that, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go record that idea before I get ready.
Yes.
So now I got like, this new idea that after we did that run with you, I wrote another song called
Nice.
Living for the Day that's based off of some changes. You do like these cool intervals of like it's just a 3 on the bottom, like the third on the bottom of these chords. I can't remember what song it was, but it's just like it's just you're climbing. You're doing like these. It's like you're like a third, and then like the one at the root, then a third on the root, and then the one on the root. It's just climbing up like that chromatically. What looks like chromatically.
Are you talking about that New Orleans style song?
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly. It's one in E major.
Yeah, it's like an E major thing that you have.
Oh,
Do 60
degrees in January.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
So there's a chord progression on that, and I was
That like the gospel climb up.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, that's a cool. So I used that like those inversions in some of the writing, and yeah. So after I came back from that run, I got inspired to do some shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's really fun to play on organ too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Take him to church.
Taking a chair. That's
Right.
exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
But yeah, man. This has been a great podcast. It's been
No
great
shit.
having you on, man.
It's been a lot of fun.
Appreciate you guys having me out.
Yeah, for sure.
I've embarrassed myself thoroughly. But I knew I would.
It's not a good podcast unless you embarrass yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because you're revealing your true self.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you see is what you get.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's not much beneath the surface. I'll tell you that.
Unapologetically you.
I am kiddie pool deep. Like, I am
Whoa.
thin.
Before we wrap it up, do you have? Is there like? This sounds so stupid now.
What?
Joe, is there a dream scenario that you want to put together
He's fucking
musically
living
one
it. What are you
day?
talking about?
I know that is
I'm-
true. It's like I see your lineups. I'm just like you're already doing it, but it's,
Super blessed.
Yeah.
man.
I've got a better question. No, not a better question, but a different question. What's like the biggest lineup that you put together? Like not like names, but like actual players. Did
like
you?
the amount of people
Yeah.
on stage. Well, the one we just did out in Vegas was 9 people in the band.
Jesus.
Wow.
It was drums, percussion. So Nate Worth on percussion, Nikki Glaspie on drums, Tal Wilkenfeld playing bass,
Oh, I saw that picture.
Eric
yeah.
Ailes on guitar, Roosevelt on steel, me on guitar, Benny Bloom on trumpet, and Alex Wasili on trombone.
God damn.
Who's on keys?
Oh, Sean Martin,
Oh my
who's the baddest dude of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an animal.
Like,
And where was
for
that?
me, Sean is my favorite musician alive.
Yeah.
That was in Vegas. You said.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
all. Yeah.
And they were playing your tunes.
We did, I think, 4 of my songs. We did a 2-hour set, and we only played like 8 songs. So
Yeah.
everything was stretched way out.
I'll bet, man.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But-
And that must have been amazing though.
Yeah. Oh, it was like I can't even think about it because it's like trying to compartmentalize. This is my embarrassing thing is me trying to say longer than 4-letter words.
I have the same issue.
But no, it was just like so amazing, and everyone was vibing because we haven't really done anything close to that all year. So like each of the musicians were just so appreciative to be there, and then they're around people they respect. So it was just like this energy that just kept building, and the playing was like that. Yeah, it was otherworldly. But I did a lineup with George Porter and Melvin Seals a couple of years ago. We
Oh,
called
wow.
the Dead Funk Summit.
Oh, I saw that.
And
yeah.
that, like, just the historical aspect of having those two guys on stage at the same time was like probably, aside from this recent thing in Vegas, my favorite thing I've ever done. It was just like being able to be on stage and see those guys. You know, I was on stage right, seeing them both in one eye view is just like so incredible.
Yeah, man, I'll bet. That's just like that's literally a dream come true. Yeah.
Legend of the Meters in New Orleans, and then Melvin with, you know, the whole Jerry band. It's
Yeah.
just like, wow.
Totally, man.
So yeah, I mean, one of the other things that I'm trying to do now, and I've been getting better at it, is to whatever situation I am, I want to play the way I felt on that gig with Melvin and George. So if I'm running an open mic, playing with guys who've never even played in a band and might never play in a band, I want to give that energy, you know, like bring it every night. We're going up here. I'm not coming down, you know, like bring everyone up. And it doesn't always work, but I think having that intention of like, we're going here, you know, like I've tasted that. Now that's the way it is. You don't come back from it. Like you have to do it. And it's like a quarterback willing his team to win the game, you know, like
Yeah.
we're doing it. Like this is where it's at now. So you just bring in that energy to any situation you're in. And you talk about like having fun, like those are the things I've learned. So I'm taking what I've learned from playing with those guys into these different situations, and it becomes where every night is like you're having the most fun you have of your life.
Yeah.
Every night, you know.
Yeah,
So like
totally.
it is the dream. You know, it's just like being able to remember that and keep that in your head and not like, you know, go through the motions basically. Like try to be present every night, and if you're present, that's where it's at. It's just being able to be present, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's a great mentality to have,
And
honestly.
there's always musicians you'd love to play with, but it's like I count my blessings. I got to play with Bernie and George and Melvin. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
that's-
greedy. I'm good, you know.
That's
There's
yeah.
more, but we don't have to. Like,
No, I feel that's amazing, man.
I got
That's-
super lucky, so I just keep working hard and let the chips fall where they fall.
For sure, man. For sure. Yeah, well, you're definitely an inspiration in a lot of ways musically, just your hustle and your just your commitment to what you do, man. So appreciate everything you're doing and for
Man.
being on the show and everything
Yeah,
as
thanks
well.
for coming
Thank you
over.
guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Love the side hustle.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We're trying.
Before we end it though, we got
Check out the Patreon.
We've got.
uh
We might have some room for subscribers on there.
yeah, yeah.
We'll push some
We
people.
can
off.
squeeze you in.
Yeah, we'll squeeze you in.
Send an email and we'll get you on the waiting list.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Waiting list for sure. That's that's self-explanatory. But.
So before we go, I want to do the unpopular opinions.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to go first? You want me to go
You want me to go
first?
first?
You can go
Okay,
first.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got it in his phone, man. This is
know.
a serious
No, I
unpopular
know.
opinion.
So I'm a huge movie buff and movie lover and everything like that, and so this year like they just stopped making movies.
Yeah, movies are done.
But the thing is last year they did make a lot of movies, and they're all edited and done, and they're just holding on to them.
Right.
So mine's just release them. That's obviously like movie theaters, like where everyone's gonna take a hit in the movie theater. I don't care. Just put them on
Well,
TV.
so they did a couple. Was it Bill and Ted came out
Yeah.
on demand?
Yeah.
But there's some others that they're just like holding on to. I can't remember. There's just like a really important one that I was like, how?
The James Bond one that just got moved to next year.
Yeah, and then Wes Anderson. I'm a huge fan of that Wes Anderson, and that it's got like Bill Murray and all these people. They're like, it's done.
Yeah.
Like it's completely done. They were gonna premiere it in April, and they just gonna wait till next year.
Oh my God.
Release movies.
Yeah, release movies.
Unpopular
I
opinion.
don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think
Neither do I.
many people share that same idea.
Yeah. So
So
swing and
try
a miss.
harder. Let's
Yeah.
dig back into your phone.
Yeah.
You got another one in there.
I'll do
I got-
mine
I
while you
got
think about
3.
another one. All right.
Yeah.
That's my unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
is that he didn't try hard
Yeah.
enough.
That's never an unpopular opinion. I didn't try hard enough.
Well.
Did you try? Yeah, I did. For like a couple minutes. Hard enough? No.
Nah.
So my first unpopular opinion is I would rather listen to a studio record than listen to a live show,
A live recording.
like a live recording. I'm not saying I obviously going to see a live show is the best. But like if it's between like going back to listen to a live show versus just listening to the band's record,
Is it a show that you've gone to?
either or. Like I've listened back to shows that I've been
And
at.
is it a jam band?
Because
Because if it's a dead show and you're gonna listen to a album over like literally any dead show,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
so
Super unpopular.
So that'll be like my addition to that one is that I actually like the studio records from the Dead.
Some of their tunes are funky
Yeah.
as can be on the studio recordings.
Yeah, they're
that
great.
Aren't as funky live.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And the performances are just clean and it's well produced. I can hear everything that they're saying. I hear everything that's going on musically.
They put a lot of thought into those records.
Yeah, and it's not like a crapshoot as to whether or not Jerry's gonna be able to perform that night. You know what I mean? And no offense, like I listen to some amazing Dead shows, but it's just
We're gonna cut this out.
yeah.
Like
I don't
You're
know.
gonna lose all your fans.
For me, I'm just I
not
like
the target audience.
I
you wanna
like
say
the
this
record.
to,
That's why
bud.
it's an unpopular opinion because
Oh,
I
yeah,
like the record.
okay.
I'm fucking saying it, bro.
All right, mine next one will probably make Joe
He
happy.
dug in.
Yeah, I dug
into the notes on
yeah,
the
yeah.
phone.
Friends is the worst show ever, and every sitcom sucks.
Every
Wow.
sitcom sucks.
I can't stand Friends.
Even Seinfeld?
Oh, I literally wrote every sitcom sucks except Seinfeld.
yeah.
Wow, nice.
A little bit weird, but yeah, I just don't like it. I hate canned laughter. I hate situational comedy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe that's my unpopular opinion. I've never seen The Office, and I have no desire to watch The
You've
Office.
never seen The Office?
I have no desire to watch it.
It's really funny, man.
It's the best show that's ever been on television.
Like, it's been on TV, and I'll, like, watch for a couple of seconds, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I guess if you
get
really,
it.
if it is pretty boring, if you really, boil it down, because
That's-
it's just people working into an office.
Yeah.
But it's like one of the funniest shows ever.
But is there, like, a certain episode you have to seek out, and then it's like, oh, that was so good, now I can get into it?
I'd say after just
Like, does it have peak episodes?
yeah, there's peak moments in certain episodes, but yeah, like the thing for me is like I've watched The Office like probably the entire series probably 20 times through now, just because it just goes,
Wow.
it's just on in my house if I'm working or whatever.
All day long.
Yeah, so it's just like, so I pick up things every time that I watch, like little nuanced things and like how they kind of foreshadow certain things throughout the seasons. For me, I would say that if you can skip season 1.
Okay.
Season 1's like really slow moving.
There's only like 6 episodes, right? Or something
Yeah,
like that?
and it's dull. And it's basically just it's the British Office just with American
different
actors.
actors.
It's the same script and everything. So, and I thought the British Office was terrible.
Well.
So once you get past the first season, it starts to kind of pick up a little bit.
But there are funny parts where you're just laughing your ass off the whole time. Anyways, but that's interesting that you've never seen that before.
All right, so that's a good unpopular opinion though for sure. So my
Unapologetically you.
Yeah, good.
So-
That's how you gotta be. Take anything away from this kid, be yourself.
And Kansas.
And
Jesus, yeah.
Praise Kansas.
Is Kansas next to Kansas, like just south of
Just south of Kansas, yeah.
What?
It's like Kansas City is not in Kansas, it's in Missouri.
Okay. Well, what's Kansas? Besides it's keyboard Jesus, I know that.
Well, yeah, but
Is
it
that an
sounds
actual
like
city?
a state or
Oh.
something.
Like Kentucky?
Maybe it's like
That's
a
where I'm from.
peninsula.
Yeah,
What part of
peninsula- it's a
Kentucky?
peninsula
Lexington.
of
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, outside Lexington. Yeah, because you're from the Midwest too. I don't know. Kentucky's like the Midwest, but it's not. It's like South Midwest. I don't know how to
you guys
describe
treading
it.
that Dixie line a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You got
So-
you got one more left.
No, I got 2 more actually.
Oh, you do?
So my second one is I hate the phrase "it's a vibe."
I've never heard that before.
You never heard somebody say
It's
it's
very
a vibe?
It's very common now.
Yeah, and it's the most vague thing you
I
can
don't
say
get out much
because
lately.
I say like I use the word vibe in the sense that I dig that vibe or like I like this has a good vibe. When you say it's a vibe, I don't know what that means
I don't
because a
think I've
vibe
ever-
to me could be anything. It could be bad, it could be good, it could be scary. Like what kind of a vibe? It's a vibe. I don't know what the fuck that means. Pisses me off, honestly.
I've never
Intentionally vague.
Yeah, so it's a vibe. If you ever say that about any of my songs, I'm going to kill you.
So like if you're like, man, what happened when you walked down that dark alley? It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
You could have got robbed. You
Yeah, exactly.
could have found money on the floor.
Exactly.
Like,
It's
Well,
just
maybe it's the inflection of the vibe.
Yeah,
the
like
voice.
Oh, it's a vibe.
Yeah, see, that's a
vibe.
That's that's a surprise vibe.
It's a
It's
surprise
vibe.
vibe.
It's vibe.
That's an excited vibe, an astounding vibe.
Astounding vibe.
It's vibe is short for vibration. Is that what it comes from?
I think so.
Okay.
Somewhere down the line.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
So that makes no sense then.
Yeah.
But it kind of like everything is made of vibrations.
Yeah.
And since vibe
He
is kind
vibrates.
of this, well, he's an alien.
Reptilian.
Wait, is he a reptilian alien?
But he's from the Alpha Draconis. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Yes.
No.
You guys don't do the bumping mics here?
Oh, the bumping mics. Oh, the fucking.
What is that?
Jeff Ross
That
and David
was
Tell.
so good.
Oh, God.
I don't get it.
Did you watch the bumping mics?
So every time they
special?
get like a really good joke, they the mic. So instead of fist bump, it's with the mic.
Yeah, I don't like
I
that.
don't like that.
That's
Too
silly.
COVID.
It's just silly.
No, it was
not COVID
it's
friendly.
a great special. You should watch it. if
Okay,
you
I'll watch
haven't.
it. That one's usually 5. My
Yeah.
last one is I love cold weather. I watched Fargo, the TV show, and it was just frozen tundra and like Christmas. That's where I want to live.
No, it's.
And
It's
like
like,
he's
get the
from
fuck
northern
outta here.
Indiana.
I'm thinking of coming to Florida for the winter, so yeah, no.
I want to do that. I want to.
It sounds nice in
It is,
theory,
yeah.
but like I'm like trying to drive through the snow,
Yeah.
and it's no, you don't.
I hate birds and bugs and heat. So
Billy,
You live in Florida.
I was dropped off here.
literally
Basically, what happened. I'll tell you the whole story.
The
a
great
little
thing
off
about life is if you don't like something, chances are you could
I can't. I'm stuck with this asshole now.
bring him with.
Yeah.
No, he won't ever leave.
You don't want to go to
leave,
Fargo?
He's cold blooded.
I'm not. Definitely not going to fucking Fargo. I can tell you that much.
North Dakota.
I'm not. I've been to North Dakota like once in my life. And
Why?
There's no reason to go there.
I saw Mount
No
Rushmore.
offense to the great people of North
in
Dakota.
the summer, you know.
It's nice, but it's just like there's nothing going on, really. No offense to the great people of North Dakota.
That's my
but
unpopular opinion. That was a good one. Say the best for last.
it's a good one. My last unpopular opinion is kind of like your Office situation. I've never seen The Matrix, and I don't want to see it anymore.
That's what you were saying. That's
He's never seen it. I'd be like, yeah, it's like like red pill, blue pill situation. And he goes, "What?" I'm like,
He doesn't know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Never seen it.
Never
You
seen
have to
it,
see it
and
just
I have
to
no
fit in
desire
with
at this point.
The
I don't wanna
second
watch it more.
two you could probably skip.
I said the
You said,
exact
yeah.
same
but
thing.
you
today.
gotta see the first
Yeah.
one. It was like revolutionary when it
Thank
came out.
you.
When it came out, it's been 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's
right?
been over 20 years.
Oh, over 20 years.
Came out
So,
in 1999.
Yeah,
I just
so
don't know
21
how you
years.
haven't just seen it by accident.
Right?
Yeah, well, you know,
You
it's
have to
been, the
try
thing is,
not to.
Like, oh, Matrix is on. I gotta go.
the thing is,
Ah!
the thing is with sci-fi films is like I gotta mentally prepare myself to watch a sci-fi film. So if it's just on, I'm not gonna leave it on.
Is that his like since he's an alien, he's gotta like show a
He's
front?
also never seen.
I'm not into that kind of stuff. Alien, sci-fi.
Yeah.
What are you talking
I've
about?
also never seen Aliens either. So
Yeah,
Never seen
saw it,
Aliens?
Never saw
Thank
Aliens.
you.
Any
No.
of the aliens?
Any of them.
Did you
never
watch
saw.
the-
or the Predator
just watch
movies
the-
for that matter.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not a sci-fi guy.
yeah, he's a lot lamer than you think he is.
yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna keep calling him out.
No, it's all right. No, I'm loving this dynamic. By the way,
about,
this is
about him
great.
being reptilian.
No, he didn't
Oh.
learn the song I asked him to learn.
Well, I didn't
Whoa.
learn. To be fair, I learned,
He learned the song. He didn't learn the melody.
I didn't learn the melody though. Yeah.
But I didn't give him sheet music, so
That's not
it's
learning
kind of on
a
me.
song. You didn't learn the melody. What
But
did
I
you learn?
specifically asked him to learn the melody,
Yeah, you
No,
did.
no, I'm saying
so we could harmonize and do cool guitar
I'm saying,
solo.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
I
saying when
fucked
someone
up.
asks you to learn a song, you learn the song, which includes the melody.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Oh, but you didn't think you'd have to say that.
On camera on his podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
no,
okay,
it's
okay.
cool. I mean, yeah, it's fucking no.
It's my unpopular opinion.
Yeah, Joe's got lots of unpopular opinions today.
Got him, man. That's hilarious.
And that was the last time Joe played Florida. He is now banned from the state.
I wish I had that kind of power because I would use it. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, I did. That was a flub on my end. I honestly didn't get a chance to sit down and review it until yesterday before I got to Blue
He's
Jay.
busy now, you
How
know.
long did you give it to him?
There's a world pandemic going on.
Yeah.
He's very busy
Oh,
now.
I understand. It's a stressful time. Did you?
Fucking try to
How
build an
long? How
empire
long
over
ago
here,
did you
just
give
saying.
him the material?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 weeks ago. There was no excuse. I could have learned it. No excuse.
Next time, it'll
next
be all
time.
that sweeter.
That's right. I'm gonna learn it and play it better than you do.
Oh, I'm
just,
sure.
Just
Easily.
not easily.
That will not be hard.
Just so I could be like, I got it now, Joe. I got it now.
What?
Yeah.
And you sent him sheet music for it?
No, I said there was no sheet
Would've
music.
made a
So
difference.
that's
I
why
don't-
he gets a
Wait,
pass.
he can't read sheet music.
I can't read sheet music. I
So
never
you read Braille?
We were just coming up like, yeah, I can read sheet music very well.
Yeah.
You don't read at all?
I don't. I never took lessons or went to school or anything for it.
Wow.
So I just listened and I learned it like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I do.
Yeah.
So next time, send it to me. I will learn it.
Then you can play it and teach him.
I get to play with Keizes?
You could have last night if
Shut
you would have
up!
came.
Don't tell me that.
the past 3 nights, the 3 nights in Orlando, we had a keyboard player sit in every night, and it was 2 at the same time.
Fuck you.
So Steve would be playing and someone else.
So I would be playing literally standing next to Keizes.
You'd
Yeah.
be feeling the spirit.
We feel.
I'm not gonna cry. No, I actually wasn't feeling too high yesterday either. That was half the reason why I didn't come
But
anyway.
Jesus saves.
Yeah, Keizes saves, man. All right, and just have him just like this on the T-shirt, and it just says
Oh,
Keizes
man.
saves. All right. Well,
Wow.
and
Is he playing a guitar on the shirt?
I don't know. That's not really Steve Millett's style.
I don't think I've ever seen him play guitar.
Yeah, as a rule, like as a keyboardist, it's pretty much like unwritten that you don't play guitar.
Smiley from
Yeah, Smiley does main squeeze. Herbie
He plays
Hancock
it.
does. He's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, those guys both shred
smokes
it.
crack.
So I mean, I'm just saying, if they do it,
It's just-
he
it's
smokes
just-
crack.
No, he just casually threw that in there. I was hoping we weren't gonna bring it up.
But he-
Yeah,
but I
not
would-
Smiley, by the way.
No, not Smiley, no. But I'm just saying, it's just like it's like the cheesiest thing that you could do as a keyboardist. Is like
I think it's cool for one song.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Nobody plays the guitar
It's like their main
as their main
instrument. Yeah.
instrument. That's like showing up playing the recorder or something.
That would be impressive, though.
the recorder.
No, if you played guitar for the whole gig.
Of
Because
course.
it's just like they
don't
don't
know.
sit comfortably on you.
No, that's
so.
the other thing too. Is you can only really like when you want to play like two-handed, you have to like bring your hand over and like play like this, and it looks so weird.
yeah.
Follow up. air guitar looks awesome. Air piano, it looks like you're the creepiest person ever. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay,
That's
we
all I
gotta
got.
cut this before we start saying some dumb shit again. It's been a pleasure having you on the show,
Man,
Joe. Thanks
thank
for
you
being here.
guys.
It's a lot of fun.
Really appreciate it.
And
Where are you off to next, by the way?
Where am I next? Play in Cleveland Friday, and then County Line Orchard in Hobart, Indiana, on Saturday and Sunday.
And then you're coming back down
Monster
to
Mash.
Florida. Yeah. All right,
Check
awesome.
that
yeah.
out, and Patreon if you can, and support the side hustle.
That's
Yep.
right.
Support Blue Jay
Appreciate that.
and all the other great sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah, you already heard them.
Yeah. Rewind earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, just follow our social media outlets, Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time.
Adios, muchachos.